Hello and welcome. It's me, Deborah, from the Center for Enhancing Abilities. I'm out of the Bergen location, but I welcome everyone from all our centers. So welcome. I'm in a different spot today, so I feel a little weird talking because I have people upstairs.
Smell good.
Oh, thank you, Simon. So I'm already getting interlopers for my science class. So good morning, Hannah. Today I got you nice and early. Nice. Welcome, everybody. What was everybody like so bored from the weekend that you all jumped on for science? I'm glad for that. So today we start off, we've been starting off with science since this all except for the first Monday, but we've been doing science. Good morning, Jamie. So happy to see you. So it's been like a month that we've started Mondays with science. Hello, Allison. Hello. That makes me happy. Makes me happy that you're all here. Really. I was really hoping that we would have more sun. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there's a chipmunk out in my yard. And that's a little bit about what we're talking today. Do you know Earth Week? Maybe it is Earth Week, but Earth Day is, I think, the 22nd, which is Wednesday. So we're going to focus a little bit on some more Earth crafts. Please go on to Google Classroom. Hey, Christian, what's up? Hey, dude, 11 days more till May. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I can make it. With you guys, I think I can. Stephanie's here. Stephanie's in the house. Awesome. I think we got Kara coming on. Woo, we got a whole crew. And I think we got Terrence. All I got to say is, wow, were you guys itching to get started? How was your weekend? I just noticed that I never take any of the price tags off my mugs, even though I've used them for years. The price tag just gets stuck. Earth Day, I'm going to hug a tree. Definitely, Christian. We'll definitely do something. That is good. And you've picked an appropriate thing to state because today our project is a little bit about trees, trees and their cousins, plants. We're going to do a little scientific experiment and a couple of other little things because it's not a long experiment, but it's something you guys have to be committed to try at home. It's super duper easy. I promise you. But I've got a science crew going on. I get some pictures and stuff. You ran outside, man. I gotta get started running. That's why I put on the big sweater. I got my overalls and with Earth Day coming, I thought this was really cool. We'd focus on environmental science. Hey, Terrence, what's up, man? What's up? So today's experiment is today's mug, I don't know if you could see it, I got some reflection. It's a mug on the go in case I take it outside, because that's where I'm going to be going with you guys. Never works well when I go outside, but I got some leaves, I got some branches. I don't know if this was for like hunters or something. I'm not a hunter. I'm like Christian, I'm a tree hugger. It's all good. So, today we're going to talk about photosynthesis. Try to say that 5 times fast. I'm trying not to shake my table too much. This is kind of like my science corner, I think. It's my living room. But you can see some natural elements. I've got my shells and stuff like that. So I thought it was good, and I got some sunlight, and I can see outside, and that's where we're going to go to get one of the items that we need for our project. Where is Oreo? I think he's sleeping late. Good catch. I don't know where he is. I got to go find him. I think he's in the art room. I think that's where he wanted to stay, and he was a little mad that he was supposed to come to science. My bad. But he's there. You'll see him. He's around. Good catch. You get extra credit for that's one thing I forgot. I forgot to wake him up. But yeah, Oreo's good. I like that. I like when people catch things like that. So, for science today, we're going to talk about 3 things. Three things that we're going to do that are going to set you up for the week, so to speak. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, good morning. Somebody used to say that. I say welcome, welcome is my catchphrase. So I hope everybody's okay. I hope everybody's hanging in there. What is this, week 6? My goodness. We're tough. We can do this. We can do this. I'm the type of person, I have so much stuff in my house, I could stay here for months and months. I have so many activities. But I really do need to get to the nail salon, hair salon, but I can wait. I can wait. Maybe. I don't know. So, getting back to science instead of my hair, we're going to talk about photosynthesis and respiration in plants and trees. Now, I don't know if anybody knows what respiration is. Big fancy word, so is photosynthesis. But respiration, you guys are doing it right now.
So you don't have any language or...
We're all doing it. It's breathing, and it's the process of how our bodies take in oxygen for our cells and then give off carbon dioxide. So they take in the good stuff. Let's see. Feels like week 100, Katie. Hang in there, girl. Hang in there. We'll get back. We'll get back to things. I see Dave is coming on. But I hear you. I hear you. I don't know how much longer I can be with these people in this house. I'm just kidding. So we're on respiration. It's, as I said, it's when your body, you do it. I guess all the living things have to do it. I don't know what viruses do. Maybe I shouldn't talk about viruses. They're a little different, but for animals and trees and stuff like that, we're all kind of related, believe it or not. We're related to, yeah, hold on, Coops. I'm going to get you lunch later. That's why working at home is so much fun. What we all have to bring in ingredients, things that we need, elements that we need to keep alive. It's kind of the thing. And oxygen for us is a really is a good thing. And then our bodies take the oxygen, we process, and we make waste. Not just waste. When we think of waste, we also, our cells make it, and we give out air. I just blew out some carbon dioxide. And trees love it. Plants love it, which is really cool. That's why you should have lots of plants in your house. I don't, because I kill like basically everything. So believe it or not, it's one thing I can't do. I can't keep house plants. I have an aloe plant that we'll be using soon for like years and years. And it's probably like kill me. Stuck in the same pot. I have a cactus that I've had before I was married. I guess it's alive. I don't know. So plants and me, they're better off out on their own. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to read you a little bit about this. I'm going to tell you what you need from this. So we are going to observe the process of respiration in plants. That's right. It doesn't sound very exciting that you're going to watch something breathe and give off its air afterwards, but that's what we're going to do. Because, hey, what else are we going to do? Where else are we going to go? We might as well pick something that takes hours and hours to do, right? The project itself is very simple, and what you're going to need is, let me just put some of these things down, okay? What you're going to need today, I recommend a glass bowl. It doesn't matter. You can use anything. But what you're going to do is you're going to need a glass bowl is better because you can see better, but you can use anything. You can use any type of container. You can use a jar. You can use a Tupperware. You can use an old can. I don't know if a can would be good. I don't know because of other things. I like glass. I like glass or ceramic. So, and you're going to want, the amount of water is going to depend on what you put in it, okay? So we're going to need water, a glass bowl. I think that bowl's like older than my children. I recommend a scissor because we're going to go outside and we're going to cut something off of a tree or a plant. And you're going to need a small rock. You don't want something really big. This is actually pretty big. I don't know why I got that, but a small rock or a pebble or something. I guess you could even use a marble, anything, because that's what's going to hold on. That's what's going to hold down the leaf that we're going to go outside and get. So you need a bowl, you need water, you need scissors or some way to get your leaf, and maybe a small rock. You don't want to use a coin, something like you don't want to use something that's reactive. So like a glass piece or something like that. That's what you're going to use. Okay. So bowl, water, scissor, rock. Sounds like a cool game, right? And ultimately, I didn't want to move it too much because it is working. This is what you're going to be making. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a green thing over there. That's my leaf that's submerged into my oxygen, okay? For the other part of this experiment, what I recommend, and we'll talk a little bit about it, maybe you want a small box, a basket, a bowl, another one, because I also, when you go out for a leaf, I want you to pick up a couple of items as well. And we've got a couple of items because that's the next part or the last part. And I also, I'm making you a list, believe it or not. I'm having every staff member join in and make a list of supplies that you're going to need for this remote learning. So I just put it up on Google Docs, so my different instructors are going to go in and put in different stuff. And hold on a second. Cooper, why don't you go upstairs and I'll bring you lunch in a few minutes, okay? Thanks, man. So a notebook, because I want you to make a nature journal. All right, a nature journal. Okay, this is one of the other projects. So, and a pencil, maybe, eventually we could talk a little bit about it. You could make a nature kit, maybe some colored pencils, something like that. But let us go and do the first part. Hey, Becky, what's up? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I don't think I need my camera, but whenever you're going out on your nature walk, bring your phone or bring a camera. It's always cool. Always, always cool to take pictures of things. I love to take pictures of things close up. If any of you know some of my photography, I know that. So what we're going to do is we are going to get a leaf, and we are going to do that together, you and me. So I'm going to unplug my phone. Okay. Sorry about that, and you might have lost me for a few minutes because technology is not my favorite. All right, so I'm going to go outside, and we are going, hopefully you didn't see the mess in my house. Oh, I forgot my scissors. So what I want you to do is you're going to take your plate, your bowl, your basket, whatever you have, okay? I'm going to take and a pair of scissors, or have somebody else carry them. I'm wearing my overalls so I can put them in all my pockets. Oh, it's kind of nice. Here we are. Oh, there's some robins. I don't know. So we are outside. It's kind of not a very exciting. Somebody close the window because I didn't want to hear my voice. And right now, what you're going to want is, I know that the leaves on the trees really aren't that fully formed. We're not talking about conifers, like a pine tree. We want something more of like a leafy leaf. So they're just budding. So you might want to go out and see if there's other types of plant leaves. You can also use a leaf from a house plant. That's totally. We had some tree leaves. We would go to a tree and we'd get one of those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use some coneflower because they're a pretty big leaf. There's dandelions all over the place too. You can take some of those. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to patch here, and which I have not gardened yet. And I'm going to look for a pretty nice, I guess you could do a couple of leaves. So we're going to come in and we're going to take our scissors, okay? And we're going to just cut a couple of leaves, okay? I'm going to take 2. Okay, I've got things going in because I really like them, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so here you go. Could be any type of leaf. These are really good leaves. to use something big, something broad, something you can watch. Now, you do not want a leaf that you found on the ground, because we want it to be a living, active leaf. That's important, okay? So don't pick up a dead leaf or a leaf that fell off. We want it like fresh. Want it still alive. Cutting it off the tree. But you're responsible for its death. But it's okay, I guess. So the other thing that I'd like you to do is, if you get a few minutes, I want you to walk around your yard, maybe around the sidewalk on the street, and you're going to pick up a couple of items too. These are not used in the specific experiment that we're doing. We're going to use them for our nature journal. So I found like a top of a pine cone, looks like a little hat. I found, I'm really into bark and stuff like that. I just love the texture. Found some bark. I found a weird leaf, not a leaf, which probably I should be touching, a feather that fell off some kind of bird. And maybe I'm going to go in and I'm going to take, I found some really cool, sorry for the weird angles. I found, this is the top of a coneflower, if anybody knows what it is, for texture, really in there. And I think I'm going to go, I noticed that the dandelions, they're changing a little bit, and I'm going to go in, and this is a good time. You can harvest dandelions. You can eat them, you know. You can eat them. I think you want them when they first come out. So I'm going to take a whole dandelion, and I want the root, because supposedly this is a part you can really eat. I'm not going to eat them, but don't worry. But I really wanted this piece, if you can see it, because I think that's going to be the soft, fluffy part. So I took a couple of things from outside. Maybe you find a really cool rock, something like that. Whatever you find, and just put it in your basket. And we're going to go back in to our, maybe I'll take some moss too. Almost fell in the sinkhole, I guess. And I'm going to take some groovy moss too. Different types of things. Here you go. There's some groovy moss. Okay? Experiment for our leaves. Da-da-da-da. Here we go. I guess I paid the rent. They didn't lock me out. So let's go back to our spot, and we'll talk about what we have and how, there we go, and how we're going to put this together, okay? So here we go. It's a little cold outside. So I have my things about me. Here we go. Like I said, you can even use these leaves. Like I took dandelions from outside. I have the roots. You can kind of see the roots. And what I was really looking for was these little fluffy things. Okay, that's for my journal. I have a little groovy critter here for my journal. Ow, a little sharp. Some tree bark. I grabbed a rock. I think this one is better for my other thing. I grabbed some moss. I grabbed a little acorn head there, hat, and a leaf. Okay, that's what I grabbed, just outside, just some weird stuff, okay? And then I have my leaves as well, okay? All right, hold on. Yeah, Cooper, I'll get you lunch in a little bit. All righty. So hold on to your other items in your bag, or your bag, your little basket. I know I have these really groovy baskets. So hopefully you have a leaf or two, something big. I wouldn't go too small, because if you go too small, it's really hard to see. So you want something, you can kind of see this is a pretty big, it's a pretty big leaf. It's about at least 3 inches. So I was lucky that I have these in the front yard. Okay, and you can do this at different times. And then I have a little rock too. Okay, so I have my leaf and I have my bowl of water. Okay, so it's interesting that I say fill it with lukewarm water. I didn't make mine lukewarm. I left it room temperature. I don't know if you need to make it lukewarm. I noticed that it worked without it. I don't know if maybe the warmth helps it, but I wouldn't use boiling water or hot water. And I think if you use like room temperature water, it's okay. I don't know if like the temperature, if it's a little lukewarm, it'll help movement of chlorophyll. I don't know, things in there, okay? So I just filled out my bowl and with just regular tap water, and it's been sitting here for a while. I started my first experiment first. Hey, Allegra, you like rocks? Ooh, I got a whole rock collection. Maybe we should do a rock day. Ooh, I love rocks. I got rocks and crystals. I got all that stuff. Ooh, Allegra, I like that idea. I like rocks too. They're really cool. So in my first one, I wanted to see if it worked. So I did it because it's going to take a while, and it is working. You just have to take my word for it. But I see that it is working. I see that it's working, unless it's my imagination. So I think it's worth it. So we found an active live leaf from our tree or our plant, wherever, same thing. It's all good. And what you're gonna do in your bowl, as I said, I would use plastic, you can use glass, you can use ceramic. I really dig the glass, and it could be a glass if you have a small leaf. But this way you can see it. You can really see it. Okay. So I'm going to put my leaf in my bowl. See how I did that? And then what I'm going to do is this is as simple as it is. You're going to put some water in a bowl. You're going to put your leaf in the bowl. You're going to take your little rock, and you're going to, my rock had a little bit of dirt. Oh, well. And you're just going to stick the rock on the leaf. That's it. So it's under water. That's really key. And you're going to set it aside. Okay? That's it. That is the whole, well, there's one more piece of advice that I need to tell you. You need to find a sunny spot. Okay, I almost forgot that. Today it's a little hard. That's one of the reasons why I picked this. I have a nice big, it sounds nicer than it is. I have a nice big picture window. I get lots of sun in here. So I have my table set up with my my bowls. I'm moving my bowl right now because there's a little bit of sun. It's a little overcast, but it'll do. So if you want to wait till a sunnier day to do this, you can. You can do it twice. You could do it on a day with less sun and a day with a lot of sun, and you can see if it makes a difference. That is a really cool experiment for the really hot shots. I see David's on. Sorry, dude. I needed that swig of coffee, but welcome. So that would be a really interesting way to see and to test this hypothesis on whether or not you can witness respiration, photosynthesis through of plants. Okay, so try it on different days. Like I said, what else you got to do? Right? Netflix. I finished it. Kara likes my pink hair. Sorry about that. Somebody was trying to call me. Not during my class time. I like the pink better than the blue, but I have purple and I have red. It's temporary. You can see I kind of stained my skull, so or my scalp. So, but thank you. I like the pink too. I think it's my fave. I just have to bleach it and stuff like that to get it really bright. So we put our leaf in a water. We put a leaf in our bowl of water, and then we submerged it with a stone and a little rock or a pebble, so it goes underneath the water. It's covered with the water, and it's in a sunny spot, somewhere where light, because that's what plants need for photosynthesis. If you haven't figured it out, the photo part of the word meaning light, okay? So that's what it needs to work on this, okay? So I have my plants. Now, so as I said, we have our active leaf. We didn't pick one on the ground. We submerged it. We put it in the sun. I'm just making sure that I didn't forget any of the tips. And then we wait, right? And this could take you a few hours for you to see this. So do it, maybe set it up in the morning before you have breakfast or right after breakfast, and you can come back at lunch, or it's something for you to keep going back and forth and taking a look, okay? I know that can be a little difficult for people, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see it, and I like projects that you can come back to. Okay, and you can do this all week. As I said, you could get different leaves, different plants, different times of the day, sunny day versus, non-sunny day. You can see if this works. And I will post pictures. I'm looking at this one. I didn't move the bowl, and I would try not to move the bowl so much. So what you're going to be looking for is bubbles. Tiny bubbles. Isn't that a song? Somebody let me know. Tiny Bubbles or something. What's his name? Engelbert Humperdinck? I don't know. Somebody sings a song. Or somebody else. I don't know who it is. But somebody sings a song about bubbles or tiny bubbles. That's what we're looking for. So I'm not going to hold it up because you're not going to be able to see it. When you first fill your bowl or glass, you might see a lot of little bubbles in it because that's the air coming up from the water and the faucet and whatever. Just take note of those. Those are not signs of respiration of the plant, okay? What you're going to do is, so when you first submerge your plant or your leaf, take a look at it. You may want to take a photograph with your phone. Hello, Don Ho, thank you. Totally wrong person. Do they look alike? I don't know. Don Ho. Oh, well. Hope he's well. Tiny bubbles, something like that. So take a look at your leaf when it's first submerged because there might be bubbles from the air that got trapped in there, okay? So just take a look, get an idea of what it looks like first. Then you're going to leave it. You can come every half an hour if you like and make a little note, which we're going to be talking about in our nature journal. But eventually what you will see is, let me see if I can look at mine. Okay. It looks like they're attached. You're going to start to see little itty bitty. And if it's hard for you to see, get somebody to help you out. Or get a magnifying glass. That's cool too. Little bubbles around the leaf, the edge of the leaf, maybe the stem on top of the leaf. You'll see that, and eventually they will rise up because water is, lighter, less dense than water. But you will see little itty bitty bubbles. And you're saying, so what, Deborah? What the heck does that have to do with anything? Well, my friends, that is the sign of respiration of the plant. So what you're seeing, don't take it from me, take it from the scientists here. So the leaf, that's why we want it in a sunny spot. The leaf is still kind of alive, right? And it's using the sunlight as part of the photosynthesis. Terrence? My cat is here. I don't know if you saw it, Terrence. Gertie's here somewhere. She's in the window, actually. So it's using the light as part of this photosynthesis process. That's how it's making energy, and it's making fuel. That's part of chlorophyll and all those things. We're not focusing so much on that because I don't want to put you guys to sleep. But this is basically how leaves convert sunlight to energy. And when it does this, it's kind of like, you know how you drive your car, boom, you put gas in it, vroom, 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 and it's moving. And the energy, the gas makes energy to make your car go. And, oops, I'm shaking my bowls. And eventually it gives off fumes and stuff like that. Well, there's waste. There's a byproduct of this reaction. Same thing with us, right? When sometimes when we get too much air in our system, we might belch things. When we're using our food, we need food to function, to do things, and that gives us energy, and we make waste. We make all different kinds of waste, right? Sometimes we sweat it out, sometimes we burp it out, sometimes we goes another round. So this is what the plants are doing. They're giving off some air. They're giving off oxygen. That's why we like them. They take in carbon dioxide. It's a nice relationship. And they give off oxygen. So that is what you're doing. So the leaf, as it's creating energy, right? It needs to get rid of the items it no longer needs. It doesn't need that oxygen. So it expels the extra oxygen. It lets it go through its leaf, its membranes. and with along some water that it does release a little bit. It's called transpiration. That's kind of funky. And this is the process that lets us see that it's working. And it's giving off these little itty bitty bubbles, which I think is really, really cool. And since oxygen, as this guy has said, is lighter than water, they'll eventually rise to the surface. So that's why I want you to keep track of how many bubbles are in your bowl when you start. That's why I kind of let mine sit out for a little bit. But that is basically the whole experiment. So for us, it's so tiny I can't show you the little bubbles. You'll just have to take my word for it. But for you guys, you could do this today. You could do it, as I said, a couple of days a week. Go find some leaves, put them in your bowl, little rock or a marble or something like that, and watch it. I would love to hear if some people did this on 2 different days, a cloudier day versus a sunnier day. I would love to see that. So let's try that. So that takes us, why then did I also take you outside? One, I wanted to make sure I had a fresh leaf. And I made you pick up some stuff off the ground. Hey, germs, some germs can be good, I guess. So this is the next part of working with this experiment and giving you something else to kind of work on, because it's a really short experiment. You can see this. You can do this anywhere. It didn't take me very long to do it. So my other thing that I want to talk to you a little bit about before we finish up with science today is a nature book. So some of you might have. I have lots of notebooks. I don't know why my son's school tricks me into buying. It's not the school, but I get tricked into buying these school supply boxes. And then all of a sudden at the end of the year, there's like all these notebooks that they didn't use. So, which is great. And this may be the time of year that if somebody's going to a store for essential products, if you're going to CVS, you're going to a food store, I know Staples is open, and you're there for something else, or you can order it, get yourself a notebook if you don't already have one. You should always try to have an extra notebook around. I don't know how this got wet. Or maybe it's me. I don't know. So I just took a composition notebook. It could be any notebook. It could be a notebook that you've used for something else. There we go. And it could be a half-filled notebook. It could be a notepad. It could be anything. You could do it on an iPad. You totally can. It doesn't matter if you're keeping more of notes. The reason why I like a notebook is I'm kind of an artsy-fartsy person, and I like to sketch and I like to doodle, and that is why I'm kind of bringing this to you today. And when this is what we call earth sciences or natural science, and a lot of the ways you learn things or how we know so much we know about animals, about nature is, long time ago, people, goodbye, bye Stephanie, what they do is they studied things, they sketched them. They didn't have cameras like we do. So they would sit there and really study forms, things in nature, flowers, and they would draw them. So, and they would write notes about what they see. So you might see people just going out, like I have a weird rotting tree stump, and it's like this microcosm of interesting things. It's its own little ecosystem, and I could sit there and draw for hours. I like to take pictures of it, but that's what this is a little bit about. So I want you to get a notebook of some sort. I mean, listen, what else are we going to do? Okay, we've got a little bit longer time. We meet once a week for science. I think it's a good thing to do. Might as well learn. And make this notebook yourself. You can decorate it any way you want. You can take pictures from a magazine, of flowers, of animals. You can draw your own. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. It's yours. You're the scientist. Whatever inspires you to open this book. So you're going to take a little bit of glue. You maybe just leave it. Just leave it just as is. I kind of like things just as is. And what you're going to do then with your journal is you're going to keep track of your experiments, So let's say some of you were, I know a lot of you were doing your wind directional, your weather vane, right? You could draw a picture of that. You could write down your results. Did it work? Yes or no? Maybe for this particular experiment, we are going to call this respiration. I'm just writing it down. In plants, okay? And our hypothesis is plants give off air when they do photosynthesis or when they absorb light. So I'm going to write that down. You could write it as a question. Do plants give off air during, and I'm just going to call it photosynthesis, right? Okay, so I'm looking for bubbles. And I'm just going to write that down. Look for bubbles. Okay, and now, let's say you're a person, Deborah, I don't want to write down a lot of notes. You could write down all the steps you did. You could. You could draw a picture. Yeah. You can draw a picture of your bowl. Okay, and I'm going to show you in a second. This is lots of fun. Hold on. Can't do two things at once. So here you go, right? I drew a picture of my bowl. I drew a picture of my leaf, my little rock. I have my little waves for water. And I have it all in my bowl. So you could draw a picture of it or have somebody draw it for you. And then you could jot down, I don't know, let me see. It's, make a note. Okay, 11:05. I'm going in. Write down what your observations were. Saw tiny bubbles on stem. That's what I saw. Okay? You could do it from that perspective. And just kind of write it in. You got your colored pencils and things like that. You could color it in. It's really cool. It's really cool. And the more you fill it in, it's kind of, you get this really funky book. And you could just write down all your observations. You could write your thoughts. You could say, wow, Deborah picked a really boring experiment. You could write whatever you want on it. It's your book. It's your book. So why did I make you go out and get these weird things in relationship to this journal? Well, there's a reason. Because this is a really fun thing for people who also like art as well. And they like to draw. They like to doodle. So as I was telling you, original naturalists or earth scientists, natural scientists, right? They went in and they looked at stuff and they drew it. And that is a cool way for you to really look at something, really examine something. Because I think it was Allegra said she loves rocks, right? I love rocks. Rocks seem, sometimes I have rocks in my head, but they seem really boring to some people. Not when you really get in there and you really look at all the elements of a rock. So this one almost looks a little bit like a heart or a potato, depending if I'm hungry or I'm in the mood for love. It's different things, right? So, and you're going to take a look at what's on the rock. Maybe you clean it. Is it smooth? There's all things that you can observe. Like I said, ooh, look at this. Look at what you could draw with that, right? You've got the little points, the little edges. It looks like a little hat for a fairy. Maybe you draw a fairy. And you draw a little acorn hat for him. I love this. This is a fun thing to draw. Look at all those little points, right? Which I know is kind of creepy and I gotta go wash my hands, but here's a feather. And if you've really never, I don't know why there's a bunch of little feathers by my bird feeder. I hope he's okay. But when you really look at a feather, you see all the lines of the feather that make the feather. And you see that, I'm gonna say it's like, it's not a coating, but it's how they all stay together. You really look at this and the iridescence and the light. There's a lot of cool stuff to look at in a feather. What else did I pick? Here you go. Ooh, yeah. You could put them together. Hey, Sue, what's up? You could put them together on your table. And it's like, oops, that's what really inspired me. I found them actually close to my door. See what I have here? You could put them on a table, and you could draw those things just as a picture. Ooh, and I had a little moss too. I like moss. There you go. Look at that. Oops, I just threw a feather at you. So the idea is you want to take these items and you want to study them and throw them around your house. And if you have dandelions, you could eat them. Just make sure they're clean, that they don't have pesticides or anything like that. But yeah, they've got dandelion leaves are really cool to draw. He's getting a little wilty because I pulled him out. Look at that. You get all the little edges. The other thing is they have wonderful flowers to draw or take photographs. But also, I really challenge you, maybe whoever cleans up or vacuums in your house might be mad at you. You could first draw it. So let me do this as a possible experiment for you artists. So I'm going to take a different page in my notebook, and I'm going to call it Nature Study of Dandelions. Does anybody here like go around and pick dandelions? Did you do that as a kid? I did that. And I'd come back and give them to my mom. She'd be like, oh, thanks. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And they are delicious and healthy for you. So maybe my first drawing of my dandelion, okay, and I'm just kind of doing this really fast. This is my first drawing of my dandelion. See how I have that? See how that looks kind of like that? Right? I might go outside and I might see the full yellow ones and just ignore my horrible dandelion. And that's why colored pencils are really good, because you can also color them. So that's a blooming one. That one's yellow. This one is, he's done this. He kind of looks like from, what's that movie? Little Shop of Horrors. Kind of looks like that. He's closed in. And then what I might do is after I draw those, what I might do is I might open it up. I might explore it. Have you ever really pulled, and you know what? I just learned something. I'm pulling back. Let's see if I can see it for you. Oh, sorry. Sorry, my friend. Now, everybody knows when the dandelions, they love when they go white, right? And those are their little seeds. That's how they're going to make more dandelions, right? That's always and they're very puffy. What I did was, this is looking at it when it's just as the flower itself. I picked it. And what I did was I pulled out the outer area, and now you can start to see that they have these lines. They're still really fresh. They haven't really dried out. So when we go out a little bit later and it's just a little white puff and you go, whoever did that as a kid? And then your parents would yell at you and say, hey, stop doing that, because they're flying all over the place and they're going to spread more dandelions. I did that all the time. So what I'm doing is I'm dissecting the flower. I'm looking at it before it happens. And this is how naturalists, this is how scientists learn things. They looked at it. I hope the flower's okay. I think he's okay. And then I noticed that there's a little bit of green. There's a little bit of white poof that I have there. Ooh, right? And you can learn a lot about the structure of a flower and how it works, right? You've got the root system. I cut off the root system, I apologize. But it's got the root system, and you can really see how these guys, they really get in there. They make the leaves grow out, and then all of a sudden you'll get the flower, and eventually the flower goes from the yellow flower to this kind of bud, right? Or this kind of flower, and then eventually it'll open up and it'll make the white little poofy flower that you blow. So this is a great thing to do. Go outside, grab a couple of things off the ground or pull them off from a tree. Be gentle to the tree. Don't destroy it. Just take what you need, just a little bit. And you can draw it. You can study it. You can kind of take it apart and see a little bit about what it is. And if somebody says, oh, Deborah, we don't want to decimate the whole plant population. You don't need a lot. You just need one. And it really helps you get an appreciation for the plants. You can also Take pictures if you'd rather do that. You're one that you'd rather leave it in the ground. There's certain flowers that you should. Orchids or, certain things that you don't want to pick. And that's what cameras are really wonderful. Or you're sitting outside, lay all your stuff down on the ground. Or, bring your chair out and get, a table or a tray and just try to draw things as best as you can if you don't want to pick them up or touch them with your hands. You can squish them. You can press flowers through books. That's something else. I recommend you're going to want like a tissue paper or something like that, and a lot of books. It takes a while, but you can do that. You can make leaf rubbings as well to put in your notebook. So there's a lot of different ways. You can see the whole vein system, the whole circulation system of a leaf. It's really cool. You can go look up, like Christian was saying, he likes to hug a tree. He's going to do that on Earth Day. Maybe you go up to a tree, go touch it, feel it, take a picture of the bark. Go sit there with you could take a crayon and a piece of paper and do a rubbing of the bark. You can draw it right there, and you can start. I'm just going to close up. You can tap in some of your leaves, right? Here's my groovy plant. You could tap them in. You can tape them in if it's a leaf or if it's a dry leaf or it's a small twig or something like that. You could do all these things, and before you know it, you'll have this awesome album, this awesome notebook of your scientific discoveries, of your observations. Just go out, go see, you could do an animal counter or a bird counter. That's always fun, where you go and you make a list. And that's something I can do for you guys too. Put your date and write down your different animals. That's a great one. I think I will do that for you guys and share it with you. So maybe you have chipmunks. So at my house we have chipmunks, deer, bunnies, fox, but that's usually at night. Robins, blue jays, sparrows, woodpeckers, flickers, mourning doves, turkeys, ducks. We have a snowy egret that comes by. What kind of animals I missed? We want to leave bears off our list, but sometimes some people get those. So think of a coyote. Hopefully you're inside, you don't see them. Maybe it's a cat from the neighborhood or somebody walking their dog. You could put in whatever animals squirrels. I forgot squirrels. I did put chipmunks. Mice. Usually you don't see them too much, but you can keep a whole list in your notebook. And maybe you're just chilling out. Like I see a chipmunk, he's laughing at me because he steals all my stuff, all my bird feed, him and the squirrels. Keep note, see how many you see. Maybe you name them, maybe you draw a picture of them. So there's lots of things that you can do in your notebook. We saw goslings yesterday. Are they starting to hatch, all the little duckies and the little goslings? Oh, I'm so excited. Usually you're at the park. I know a lot of parks are kind of closed, which is kind of a bummer. I understand why. But yeah, this is the time, and they are the cutest things. They are super cute. Cute, 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 cute. My sister has a whole bunch of geese at her place. Maybe I'll swing by and take a look. So that's great. That's great. That makes me happy. Nature keeps going, right? Spring's eternal. The other thing that I was going to recommend, this is actually a coloring kit. So when you are going out, when you're collecting things or you're going out to draw nature or to keep track of things on your walk, what I recommend is you can get a small container. I like this. This is a little metal container. You can even do it as small as like Altoids. Sometimes you get these little itty bitty pencils. They're really cool. They're small. They're hard to hold for some people. I do get that. But you want something, maybe you can fit a pen or some colored pencils or crayons or whatever you work with, whatever you like. Maybe some scrap paper, maybe some, whatever you put in there. Maybe a little scissor. Sometimes they have those little kitty scissors at schools. Those are great because they're not so sharp and they're kind of flat. And you could put them in a little zip bag. It could be a Ziploc bag. Those don't last very long, but you could get like a makeup bag. I like this tin that I got, something like that. And you just put it in your backpack. You carry it along with you. That's part of your nature, your naturalist kit. So let me take one more look at our experiment. I'm looking at the leaf we just started before we go. I don't see anything yet. I'm going to come back to the one I started earlier this morning before we got together. So hold on, I got to take my glasses off. Oh my goodness. I see a lot of bubbles by my rock. So one thing I might suggest is that maybe you wash your rock first in water, something like that, to get rid of a little bit of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, Cooper, in a minute. I'm teaching something. Thanks, man, for reminding me. And that's when you get your phone, your camera, and maybe you try to take some pictures of your leaf to document your bubbles. And what I would like you to do is, if you do make this, please email it to me or post it here, share it on this thread. I would love to see your experiments. Let me know if it worked. Today is not a very sunny day. I'm going to try to do it again on a day where it is sunny. So we're going to try that. And let me know also, I would love to see pictures of your nature logs or your nature journals as well. Okay, you could write poetry in them. You could just write words that inspire you when you go outside. It is anything that you want it to be. All right, so that is your assignment for science this week. Go get an active leaf, a bowl, clear is better, glass of water and a rock. Submerge your leaf in water with the rock, okay? Put it in a sunny place and watch it over a course of a day. And see if you notice when there wasn't any bubbles, there starts to have bubbles on the leaf, and then they slowly move up. If that's the case, you're observing respiration, photosynthesis, and respiration of a plant. You're seeing something actually happening, which is really cool. Also, and then you could document it, as I said, in your nature log. But try the nature log. Go for a walk, pick up a couple of things while you're going to pick your leaf, and just see if you can jot down some pictures, some words, anything about it that helps describe what you observed. Have fun with it. Explore it. It's a really cool thing. Hey, it's what Darwin did, right? I mean, why not us? So get your cameras ready or your phones to take pictures and really enjoy this scientific process that we've got going. For the rest of your week, here at EA Bergen, I have to update the schedule, so Art Tomorrow will only be on Zoom. And you'll get a list of supplies for that. That should be very easy. It's stuff that you have around the house. Art on Wednesday, I just want to remind people, we are going to make a keepsake box, okay? So any kind of box you can get, a shoe box, any kind of box, cereal box, it doesn't matter, a pasta box, something that came in the mail. It could be a small box, a jewelry box, it doesn't matter. All right, I'm just kind of putting that out there. It is on the list. There's a list of some supplies on your schedule for the week. For today, there is Lunch Bunch at 12:30. I will post a picture of a hint of what we'll be discussing. It'll be me and Sue enjoying, well, sort of trying to enjoy spring. And then at 2:30, it is Music with Tony. Alrighty, so everybody, thank you so much for joining me for science on this kind of cloudy Monday morning. But remember, get out there this week, go get your leaf, go get a bowl, go get some water, get a rock, be an observer, be a scientist, see if it works, and let me know. I want to see all those awesome pictures that you guys always send me. So I will see you all later, but enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.